Okay, so let me start the new chapter. That is the so in last class we discussed about the transportation in animals and transportation in plants. Now we are going to discuss about the excretion. Okay, the new topic, very important and very interesting chapter also. Okay, excretion, the wastage disposing system. Excretion means what? Generally we can say whatever the unwanted substances we have to be throw it off. Okay, either it will be from our home or wherever we'll be residing. Okay, if it will be regarding to the human beings. So regarding to the human beings, in this chapter we are going to excretion in human beings and also excretion in plants. So later we'll discuss about the excretion in plants. Now we'll discuss the excretion in human beings. So what they will be saying that nothing factory is there without producing the waste. During the production of any component or any substance, nothing factory is there. So what it means excretion, that is removal of waste substances is must wherever the manufacturing is there. Okay, so like that in human beings also, that is they will be comparing us with the factory. Our human body is they will be comparing it as a factory. They will be calling it as a cellular factory. Okay, so in the cellular factory, whenever the organisms are undergoing, metabolic activities. What are metabolic activities? Metabolic activities means there will be two types are there, anabolic, metabolic. Both together we are calling it as a metabolic. Anabolic means synthesizing of substances. We can call it as a anabolic or anabolism. Okay, so breakdown of those substances, whatever the substances prepared in the body, that will be broken down or breakdown of those substances, we can call them as a catabolism. Cut, we can say. Like that we can remember. Anabolic means synthesis process, catabolism means breakdown process. So both together we are calling them as a metabolism. So during metabolic activities, okay, so besides the synthesis of energy, some of the waste materials are also going to be produced. Okay, so some of the examples in your textbook they had given. So photosynthesis, what are the end products will be produced during photosynthesis? All of you know that glucose. And respiration, what are the end products formed during respiration? Carbon dioxide, water, by releasing energy. Digestion, so what are the products will be released during digestion? Some of the whatever the useful nutrient that will be absorbed into the body and unuseful substances will be secreted. Okay, so like that. So these are all these three we can call them as anabolic and catabolic processes. Okay, so in your lower that is in your lower classes will be discussed that. So whatever the excretory materials, there is one doubt is there. These excretory materials are harmful to us or useful to us. What will happen if they will be stored in our body? What will happen? Okay, every day we have to be send it out. Okay, so every day the substances, the waste substances have to be send it out. Unless what will happen? Our body will become toxic or poison. Okay. So that is nowadays most of the people are suffering with the liver cancer. Very common. It will be occurring as very commonly. That is most of the celebrities are suffering with the liver cancer. That is whoever consume the alcohol. That is what you can say regularly. Okay, so here the liver function is purification. So if it will be gone, damaging it, what will happen? And one day it will become functionless. Okay, so here whenever the liver is dysfunction, okay, whenever the liver stops functioning, what will happen? The waste materials will be stored in the body. The purification of the blood won't be done. Okay, so in those patients, the main symptom is bulging of the stomach. They can't excrete the urine, especially the urine. Okay, some of the waste materials are also, they will be stored in the body. So what will happen? The blood will become poison. So you can also assume one thing, that is the food. Today, whatever the food we had eaten, by tomorrow it will become టాక్సిక్. ఈరోజు తిన్న అన్నము రేపు ఏమైపోతుందమ్మా? పాయిజన్ అయిపోతుంది. ఈరోజు తిన్నాం కదా అని రేపు కూడా అట్లా ఎత్తిపెట్టుకుని తింటామా? దట్ ఈస్ వితౌట్ రిఫ్రిజరేషన్ అంటే, ఫ్రిడ్జ్ లేకుండా, ఫ్రిడ్జ్ లో పెట్టకుండా అన్నం నిన్న బాగుంది, ఈరోజు బాగుంది, రేపు అదే అన్నాన్ని తినగలమా? తినలేము. ఏమవుతుంది? పాడైపోతుంది. అవునా కదా? సో అలాగనే ఈ రోజు తిన్న ఫుడ్ కొన్ని వేస్ట్ మెటీరియల్స్ రిలీజ్ అయినది, రేపటికి ఏమైపోతున్నాయి? దోస్ వేస్ట్ మెటీరియల్స్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి పాయిజన్. ఓకే, టాక్సిక్ అయిపోతున్నాయి. Okay, now, so here, so what we have to do, we have to get rid of these waste materials continuously from మన బాడీ నుంచి. అందుకే ఏం చేయాలి? కంటిన్యూస్ గా వేస్ట్ మెటీరియల్ ని బయటికి పంపిస్తూ ఉండాలి. సో వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ దట్ ప్రాసెస్ యాజ్ ఏ ఎక్స్క్రీషన్. ఓకే, ఎక్స్ మీన్స్ అవుట్, క్రీడర్ మీన్స్ షిఫ్ట్, షిఫ్టింగ్ ద వేస్ట్ సబ్స్టాన్సెస్ టు అవుట్ సైడ్. ఓకే, సో excretion. So how we can define the excretion? Means it is a biological term. So which is the process which will be involved in separation and removal of waste or non-useful substances from the body is called excretion. Okay, got it? The biological definition for excretion is, it is the process involved in separation. First we have to separate the waste materials from the blood or from the useful substances in the body. So separation and removal. After separation, what we have to do? We have to remove those waste materials. Okay, separation and removal of waste materials from the body is called excretion. Okay, so excretion is a Latin word. Where it will be derived means, it is a Latin word. Ex means out and criner means shift. Okay, X means out and criner means shift. Okay, so this is the introduction regarding to the excretion. And what are the excretory products? So in different organisms, different excretory substances will be released out. Okay, so uric acid, urea, okay, and also ammonia. So these three types of excretory substances will be released out from the organisms. So among these three, which one is the most poisonous one? Means that is the ammonia. Okay, uric acid will be released out by the whatever the organisms are getting insufficient amount of water. ఏ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ కి అయితే తక్కువ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ ని తీసుకుంటాయో అటువంటి ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ రిలీజ్ చేసి ఎక్స్క్రీట్ చేసే మెటీరియల్ ఏది అంటే యూరిక్ యాసిడ్. రిమెంబర్ మా. Okay, example, if you can take the birds, comparing to us, birds can take the very less amount of water. So that's why birds can release the uric acid. Okay, then what about the that is moderately sufficient amount of water. The organisms, whoever organisms having the sufficient amount of water. Okay, for example, human beings, we won't take too much of water, and whatever how much of water will be available, that much only we can take. Okay, so the example that is then what type of waste material or what type of excretory material released by the human beings means urea. Okay, urea will be released out. Then what about the water animals? Water animals, they will be released the ammonia. They can release the ammonia. So among these three, which one is the most poisonous one? Means ammonia is the most poisonous one. Okay, urea, uric acid, and also along with that some other waste materials will be released out like bile pigments. Okay, bilirubin. So these two, bile pigments and bilirubin, those two will be secreted from the liver. Okay, so excess amount of during digestion, these two will be used for the digestion of the fat. Fat digestion they will be used. Okay, so the excess amount of for the during the process of fat digestion, these two bile pigments and bile salts they will be released out. How much amount they will be required, they will be used, and remaining extra amount will be they have to be excreted from the body. Along with that, some excess salts also be released out. Okay, got it. And next here, along with that, they had when in your textbook they had given they took a small experiment. Okay, let's go through it. Now I'm shifting to next, that is excretory system in human beings. In human beings, excretory system. So before that, there is a very important activity they had given in your textbook, ma. That is studying the external and internal features of a kidney. Okay, that is here how we can study. That is the preparation. అది ఎలాగా మనం చూస్తాం అనే దానికి ఇచ్చారు చిన్నగా. సో 3D model we can take, or else we can live goats kidney only we can take. So first what we have to do, we have to before day only we have to not before day, on the day, same day only we can collect the goat's kidney. Why we are taking the goat means goat is also a mammal. Okay, we can take the goat, sheep, okay, dog, like that. Whatever the organisms are feeding the young ones with milk, we can call them as a mammals. Okay, mammalian kidney we can collect. Okay, so here mammalian. So what we have to do on the day, on the same day, we have, on what day, ఏ రోజైతే మనము కిడ్నీ మనం అబ్జర్వ్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నామో ఆ రోజే ఆ కిడ్నీని తీసుకొని కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని ఎవరి దగ్గర నుంచి బచర్ షాప్ లో, దట్ మీన్స్ ఏమంటారు అతని షాప్ నుంచి కట్ తీసేసుకొని వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డూ, వీ హ్యావ్ టు కంప్లీట్లీ డ్రైన్ అవుట్ ద బ్లడ్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ కిడ్నీ. బ్లడ్ అంతా డ్రైన్ అయ్యేంత వరకు దాని వాటర్ ట్యాప్ కింద పెట్టేస్తున్నాం. పెట్టేసిన తర్వాత యూ హ్యావ్ టు అబ్జర్వ్, we have to cut the kidney with the help of a sharp blade or scalpel. Scalpel అంటే సిజేరియన్ బ్లేడ్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. దాన్ని తీసుకొని will be longitudinal section. In your textbook you can see the longitudinal section. If you take the longitudinal section, you can see in the middle somewhat dark color comparing to the surrounding. Okay, so like that we can collect. After doing this experiment, we have to now wash our hands with the help of the fluid. So this is general activity. You can also get it. Okay, if the regular school is there, I'll maybe I'll do this activity with you. Okay, and next, excretory system. Let me see the human excretory system. The structure of the human excretory system. Here. Okay, the structure of the human excretory system. So we'll be having how many kidneys? A pair of kidneys are there, a pair of ureters are there, and a single urinary bladder, and which will be ended up with the urethra. By seeing this picture, what you will understand? So here two kidneys are there, but they are not in the same position. One kidney is in higher position. Now it is okay. So if you can see here the kidneys, one kidney is higher in position and one kidney is lower in position. Anybody can say this answer? ఒక కిడ్నీ పైకి ఉంది, ఒక కిడ్నీ కిందికి ఉంది. ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరా? The right kidney is placed slightly higher than that, is slightly lower than that of the left kidney. Right kidney left kidney కంటే కిందికి ఉంది. అబ్జర్వ్ చేసినారు అది. Right kidney is placed slightly lower than the left kidney. Why? Anybody can answer? So due to the presence of liver, that is the answer. So on the right side of the body will be having the liver. So due to the presence of the liver, the kidney is somewhat placed slightly lower than that of the left kidney. Very important, one mark question this. So the position of the right kidney is lower than the left kidney due to the presence of liver. Okay. So here the inner side of each kidney, you can observe here. The inner side of each kidney will be having a fissure. Fissure అంటే నొక్కులా ఉంది చూడండి ఇక్కడ. Okay, we'll be having the fissure here. నొక్కుంది. So we are calling that notch as a fissure. So from this fissure, the ureters will taking the exit. Okay, renal artery is taking, the renal artery will enter into it and the renal will taking the exit. Okay, the notch is there in each kidney. At the middle will be having a notch. That notch we are calling it as a fissure. Fissure అని అంటాం. ఆ ఫిషర్ లో రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ అనేది లోపలికి వెళ్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేసి రీనల్ వీన్ అనేది బయటకు వస్తుంది. సో సీ హియర్ రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ అండ్ రీనల్ వీన్. ద రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ is the red color pipe, and the renal vein we can call it as a blue color one. Okay, and also the ureters are also the taking exit from the kidney. Okay, so we are calling that fissure as a hilus. What we can call that fissure? We can call that as a hilus. Okay, so what is the function of the renal artery and renal vein? So renal artery we already discussed whenever we're discussing that related to the transportation. Heart. Artery. What is the function of the artery? Artery can carry the oxygenated blood from heart to different body parts. So here also renal artery is bringing the oxygenated blood. Okay, it will be bringing the oxygenated blood, but it will be loaded with the waste material. Renal artery ఇక్కడ oxygenated blood నే తీసుకొని వస్తుంది, కానీ it will be filled with the waste materials. And renal vein here, this is the renal vein. Renal vein is carrying deoxygenated blood, but it is free from the waste materials. Okay, get these 2 points, Amma. All of you got it? So renal artery here, that is the red one. The renal artery can carry the oxygenated blood. From heart to here, that is to the kidney, but which is loaded with the waste materials. But renal vein here, it will be, what you can say, carries the deoxygenated blood, but it is free from the waste materials. Okay, and if you see, this is the external structure of the kidney. If you can see the external structure clearly, you can see here the human excretory system consisting of a pair of kidneys, okay, a pair of ureters. While I am seeing, you have to see that parts of a pair of ureters, a single urinary bladder which will be open up with the urethra. Renal artery and renal vein, they will be, that is here inside of the, in the middle of the each kidney will be having a fissure which we can call it as a hilus. From the fissure, ureters and renal vein are టేకింగ్ ఎగ్జిట్ అంటే బయటకు వస్తున్నాయి. రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ టేకింగ్ ఎంట్రన్స్, రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ అనేది లోపలికి వెళ్తుంది. రీనల్ వీన్ యూరేటర్స్ వచ్చేసి బయటకు వస్తున్నాయి. ఓకేనమ్మా, గాట్ ఇట్. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద respiratory system, external kidney. Let me see the internal structure of the kidney. Anybody can say that exact location of the kidneys? Huh? They will be present in the abdominal cavity attached to the dorsal body wall. Dorsal means backside. Backside we can call it as the dorsal, and front side we can call it as the ventral. So on the dorsal side will be having in the abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity దగ్గర dorsal side లో ఉంటుంది human being కి. Okay. And if you can see the internal structure of the kidney, see here internal structure of the kidney. So by taking the longitudinal section of kidney, we can observe two distinct regions are there. One is the dark colored outer zone and pale colored inner zone. So the pale inner zone. So the dark colored outer zone called the cortex. See here the dark color. So this is the cortex. Cortex, the dark colored outer zone and pale inner zone. Inside we can see the pale. We can call it as a, in this diagram they hadn't given, that is the medulla. So wherever you can see in the top shaped, we can call it as a pyramidal shaped, that is the medulla. ఇక్కడైతే ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో వాటిని మిడుల్లా అంటాం. అంటే ఈ మిడుల్లాలో పిరమిడల్ షేప్స్ ఉన్నాయి, పిరమిడ్స్ we can call. Okay, so each kidney is made up of nearly 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons. Nephron, in further classes we'll discuss about the nephron, the small tubular structures which won't be visible through the naked eye. ఇందులో మనకు కనిపించట్లేదు, they won't be. Okay, so the major structural and functional unit of kidney, that is the nephron. So the major filtration of that urine will be done in the nephrons only. Okay, so in each kidney how many nephrons will be present? 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons will be present. Okay, see here. And if you can see the pelvis, that is whatever the urine is filtered, that will be entered from the medulla to the pelvis to the ureter. That is pelvis is continuous with the ureter. This is the renal vein. Renal vein is taking exit and renal artery taking entry into the, this is the hilus. ఇక్కడ ఉంది కదండి హైలస్. సో ఈ నాచ్ ఉంది కదా, ఈ నాచ్ ని హైలస్ అని అంటాం. ఓకేనా, ఫిషర్. Okay, this is about the internal structure, and these pyramidal shaped structures we can call them as the calyces. Calyces we can call. So nearly how many calyces will be present means here 6 calyces will be present. Okay, how many calyces means 6 calyces will be present. Okay, and next see here, now we'll discuss about the structure of nephron. Structure of nephron, see here. So like this tubular structures which we can call them as nephrons. So these nephrons in each kidney, how many nephrons are present means 1.3 to 1.8 nephrons are present. Remember ma? So in each kidney how many? 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons are present. So the major function of nephron is filtration unit. So that's why we are calling them as a nephrons are uniferous tubules or ultrafiltration unit. Ultrafiltration. Ultra ante maximum filtration. ఎంత కావాలో అంత ఫిల్టరేషన్ అనేది ఎక్కడ జరుగుతుందంటే నెఫ్రాన్స్ లో జరుగుతుంది. ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ సీ ద స్ట్రక్చర్ ఆఫ్ ది నెఫ్రాన్ is basically divided into two parts. That is here the Malpighian body. Malpighian body ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడికంటే, so this is the Malpighian body. The glomerulus and capsule, Bowman's capsule, ఈ కప్ షేప్ ఉంది కదా, దీన్ని Malpighian body అంటారు. And the remaining, the second part, we can call it as a renal capsule, we can call it. Okay, glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, both we can call them as a Malpighian body, and the remaining part we are calling it as a renal capsule. Okay, see here, if you can see the Malpighian body, so Bowman's capsule and glomerulus, we can call them as a Malpighian body. So it is the Bowman's capsule, it is a blind cup-like structure. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, so see here, this cup-like structure, we are calling it as a Bowman's capsule, and inside we'll be seeing a network like capillaries, a bunch of capillaries, we are calling it as a glomerulus. So here you'll be seeing the glomerulus is started with the afferent arteriole, and it will be getting out with the efferent arteriole. Remember ma, afferent and efferent arteriole starts with A and end with E. Okay, so here the filtration will be starts in the Malpighian body. How it will be done? ఎలా జరుగుతుంది ఇక్కడ ఈ ఫిల్టరేషన్ అనేది ఇక్కడ ఎలా జరుగుతుంది అంటే, ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ సీ ద డయామీటర్ ఆఫ్ ది అఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియల్ అండ్ డిఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియల్. ఇఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియల్ ఒక డయామీటర్ చూడండి, దీని డయామీటర్ అంటే తెలుసు కదా, వెడల్పు. సో అఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియల్ ద్వారా రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ అనుకోండి, రీనల్ ఆర్టరీ నుంచి అఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియల్ కంటిన్యూషన్ ఉంటుంది. ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆ బ్లడ్ అనేది ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ నుంచి మళ్ళీ ఈ ఇఫరెంట్ లోకి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు అది ఏమైపోతుంది, ఆ పైప్ అనేది ఊహించుకోండి, లావుగా ఉన్న పైపు ముందుకెళ్ళే కొద్ది సన్నగా ఏందనుకోండి, ప్రెషర్ పెరుగుతుందా లేదా, ప్రెషర్ పెరుగుతుంది కదా. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది నారోయర్ అవుట్లైన్ ఇన్ ద ఇఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియోల్, ప్రెషర్ ఎగ్జర్ట్స్ ఇన్ ద గ్లోమరులస్, ప్రెషర్ అనేది పెరుగుతుంది అంతే కదా. సో దిస్ ప్రెషర్ we are calling it as a filtration unit. ఈ ప్రెషర్ అనేది జనరేట్ అవడం వల్ల గ్లోమెరులస్ లో మనకి some of the blood will be filtered. Okay, and here if you can see the structure of this glomerulus, so this is the function of the very important filtration unit will be starts by the glomerulus. How it will be starts means, afferent arteriole, the renal artery is ended up with the afferent arteriole. Renal artery oxygenated blood ని తీసుకొని వస్తుంది, తీసుకొని వచ్చి ఎక్కడికి అందిస్తుంది, అఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియోల్ కి ఇస్తుంది. ఆ అఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియోల్ దాని యొక్క సైజ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, కంపేరింగ్ టు డిఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియల్ లావుగా ఉంటుంది. సో బ్లడ్ ఇక్కడికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఈ ఇఫరెంట్ లోకి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ప్రెషర్ జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకు ప్రెషర్ జనరేట్ అవుతుందంటే దాని అవుట్లెట్ అనేది, దాని డయామీటర్ అనేది కంపేరింగ్ టు ది అఫరెంట్ కి ఇఫరెంట్ చిన్నగా ఉంటుంది. చిన్నగా ఉండడం వలన the pressure will be exerts. If the pressure will be exerts, what will be happening means the filtration will be done in the glomerulus. Filtration అనేది జరుగుతుంది glomerulus లో. Okay, so that's why it functions, glomerulus will be functions as a filtration unit. Okay, and next if will be see the structure of the glomerulus. So Bowman's capsule can accommodate the glomerulus. గ్లోమరులస్ కి అకామిడేషన్ ఇస్తుంది Bowman's capsule. సో ఈ గ్లోమరులస్ is lined up with it will be surrounded with the epithelial cells, is lined up with the epithelial cells, which we can call them as a podocyte cells. Remember the glomerulus is lined up with the epithelial cells, which we can call them as a podocyte cells. These are fine pores between podocyte cells. There will be ఒక podocyte cell కి ఇంకొక podocyte cell కి చిన్న మధ్యలో గ్యాప్ ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడే దీంట్లోనే. ఈ గ్లోమరులస్ చిన్న చిన్న పోడోసైట్ సెల్స్ ఉంటాయి, రెక్టాంగులర్ షేప్ లో ఉంటాయి సెల్స్. ఆ రెక్టాంగులర్ షేప్ లో ఉన్న సెల్ కి ఒక సెల్ కి మధ్యలో గ్యాప్ ఉంటుంది. గ్యాప్ ఉండడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే ఇట్ విల్ అలౌస్ ద పాసేజ్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్స్ ఫిల్టర్డ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ది గ్లోమరులస్. ఏదైతే యూరిన్ అనేది లేదంటే బ్లడ్ అనేది ఫిల్టర్ అవుతుందో డిఫరెంట్ ఆర్టీరియోల్లో, ఓకేనా, గ్లోమరులస్ లో ఈ గ్యాప్స్ ఉండడం వలన అది బయటికి పాస్ అయిపోతుంది. ఇట్ విల్ బి లీక్స్ అవుట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద గ్లోమరులస్. ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్ అమ్మా? all of you got it this? Okay, next. So whatever the blood is filtered out, that will be entered into the renal capsule. So renal capsule is composed of 3 parts majorly. Proximal convoluted tubule. So this is the proximal convoluted tubule. And the second one is loop of Henle, we can call loop of Henle. And the third one we can call it as a collecting duct. So first one is PCT. Whatever the blood is filtered out or the urine is filtered out, that will be entered into the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay. In the proximal convoluted tubule, what will be happening means here, nearly 75% of water will be reabsorbed from that urine. ఓకేనా, బ్లడ్ ఫిల్టరేషన్ జరిగినప్పుడు మనకి ఇక్కడ ప్రాక్సిమల్ కన్వల్యూటెడ్ ట్యూబ్లో మళ్ళీ కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది. మాక్సిమం మన గ్లోమరులస్ లోనే జరగదు, తర్వాత కంటిన్యూషన్ ఉంటుంది. జరిగినప్పుడు ప్రాక్సిమల్ కన్వల్యూటెడ్ ట్యూబ్లో ఎంత అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ అబ్జార్ప్షన్ జరుగుతుంది అంటే 75% ఆఫ్ వాటర్ రీఅబ్జార్బ్డ్ బై ద ప్రాక్సిమల్ కన్వల్యూటెడ్ ట్యూబ్. రీఅబ్జార్ప్షన్ జరిగి మళ్ళీ మన బాడీలో పంపిస్తుంది. Okay, now some of the ions will also be reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. So what are they means? Glucose, amino acids, vitamin C, potassium, calcium, sodium, chlorides, and some like this many components will be reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule and pass it to the blood. After then, of the reabsorption, it will be the remaining urine will be passed to the loop of Henle. Loop of Henle is of 2 types. Descending loop of Henle, ascending loop of Henle. Descending అంటే కిందకి వస్తూ ఉంది, ప్రాక్సిమల్ కన్వల్యూటెడ్ ట్యూబుల్ నుంచి హెన్లీ కిందకి వచ్చాము, డిసెండింగ్ అంటాం. మళ్ళీ పైకి వెళ్ళేదాన్ని అసెండింగ్ అని అంటాం. ఓకేనా, సో డిసెండింగ్ లూప్ ఆఫ్ హెన్లీ, అసెండింగ్ లూప్ ఆఫ్ హెన్లీ. ఇక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే ఇన్ దిస్ లూప్ ఆఫ్ హెన్లీ 10% ఆఫ్ వాటర్ విల్ బి రీఅబ్జార్బ్డ్. ఇక్కడ ఏం జరగదు, 10% ఆఫ్ వాటర్ విల్ బి రీఅబ్జార్బ్డ్ ఇన్ ద లూప్ ఆఫ్ హెన్లీ. ఆ బెంట్ యూ లాగా ఉంది కదండి, వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ దట్ యాజ్ ఎ లూప్ ఆఫ్ హెన్లీ. హౌ మచ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ విల్ బి రీఅబ్జార్బ్డ్ మీన్స్ 10% ఆఫ్ వాటర్ విల్ బి రీఅబ్జార్బ్డ్. ఓకే, ఆఫ్టర్ దెన్ ఇట్ విల్ బి ఎంటర్డ్ ఇన్ టు ద కలెక్టింగ్ డక్ట్. సో వాట్ విల్ బి హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇన్ ద కలెక్టింగ్ డక్ట్? కలెక్టింగ్ డక్ట్ లో ఏమవుతుంది? Okay, what will be happening in the collecting duct? In the collecting duct, maximum, okay, secretion of the substances will be done. Absorption కాదు, secretion జరుగుతుంది. ఏంటి secretion జరుగుతుందంటే some of the waste products from the blood like urea, uric acid, ammonia,